Guys, we've had one red, one blue. What do you think for the next one? Any predictions? Blue? From over there? No? The games will be coming fast and furious. Are you ready for the next contestant? Guys, traveling all the way from Hong Kong, please join me in welcoming to the stage, Derek! Derek, sir, how are you feeling standing on this stage in front of this fantastic crowd?
Hey, I'm Derek鍾培生, and I'm from Hong Kong, and I got jet lag, so if I win, I must be really good. If I lose, then it's because of jet lag. So, yeah.
Well, I like that you've already got that planned out. Now, standing in your way, ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Finland, I'm going to try to say this right, from Kirkkonummi, it is Jason! Jason, you're here. You're in the top 8. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Jason, how is your deck looking? Do you think you've got what it takes to beat either a jet-lagged or a just great Derek?
I just came here to play my own game. I haven't banned any counters or anything, so I'm just gonna play my game.
Playing your own game. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for your next quarterfinalists. Now, guys, I will step back this way and let you shake hands. All important. Guys, sit down, get ready, which can mean only one thing. We're just moments away from getting this, our third quarterfinal underway, finding out who's going to the semis. And for that, take it away. I think I can see Kalaris up there.
He keeps saying this, but I'm not really going anywhere, so it's all good. It's all good. Thank you very much, Sean. Once again, another quarterfinal. You may recognize this face, but it's actually not the same person as we have his twin up. Obviously, before we had Mr. PND Ketchup on Twitter, and now we have Mr. PND Mustard on Twitter. How are you doing, buddy?
Kind of 50% the same person, but different altogether. Now, this match is important, because not only do we have Derek here in top 8, all the way from Hong Kong, he has been a consistent top player on the in-game leaderboards for, as far as I've been told, the majority of the game's life.
Yep.
So that's quite a tiger to take down, especially when you're now playing for, we're still in the quarterfinal stages, so one win here of a first to 3 is going to get you €1,000.
Yeah. We had the opportunity to talk to Derek before this tournament actually went down. He was very gracious and introduced himself to us, and he said that he brought a multitude of decks to the table. Not only a few to actually kind of ladder up through or whatever, but potentially ones down the line as well. So he is a very confident chap. A very friendly chap as well. As you can see, either he is great or he is jet lagged. I completely understand. That's a great esports excuse right there.
I mean, we call that one the option select,
yes.
Where I'm from. Just if I lose, it's because of that. If I win, it's because I'm absolutely amazing.
Exactly. And going into this, we'll see how he's going to be able to play out for HK Esports, one of the highest ranked clans in the entire game. If you check out the clan boards, you will always see them up at the very top. Players from all over the world have flown in here to play this tournament, and we're getting into it. Hog Rider already on the way for Derek to try and do some damage.
He's going to get at least one hit onto it. He's got a slight life lead right now. These minions, I can't imagine by themselves going to do too much. We see the Ice Spears are deployed to really do a good job of just sort of slowing them down. But the life lead is still very much going to Derek. But I mean, a little bit of life, not really been too much moving forward into the game. But he does manage to deploy himself an elixir pump. Going to give himself a little bit of an advantage. Hopefully, if he can avoid some pushes for quite a while.
It's so funny, this. It's like casting with the same person. Transitioning from brother to brother, it's fantastic.
So it's like casting with yourself, and you'll see that later on, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good point actually. It's like a mirror. All right, well, there's one of those in this game as well. Giant for now, going to push on towards this cannon, so opting for a Giant as one of the push conditions. So we're going to see probably damage being followed up by that Giant, as it is a great tank here for the game.
I mean, that really is how you build yourself a core push. It's a really sort of standard push you see a lot, is high health target supported by the range to really support them and get them in. But then you've got things like the Hog Rider, who just very aggressive pushing power.
Does he even have the AoE? Okay, so the arrow's going to come in there. But that got a lot of damage done. The commitment to the arrows was a little bit late there for Derek, unfortunately, and that was quite a bit of damage done to his right tower.
But let's have a look at Derek's deck right now. He hasn't got a lot of beef, but he has the aggression in the Hog Rider, but a lot of cheap units right here. We've got both kind of goblins right now. Has the arrow to deal with that sort of tactic away at the moment. But it's very cheap units. So when we go down to this last sort of 20 or so seconds, we get that double elixir. I expect we're going to see Derek's deck just explode.
Good reaction to Hog Rider in the end. The Barbarians should be able to chew through him. And then once again, they're well positioned now for the Giant to be able to push forward. And Hog Rider comes out as well. So a big push coming out from Jason here to try and break through. But look at the commitment everywhere. This arc being created by Derek to try and greet it.
Now the thing is,
work, though.
Derek's defense is scattered right now. They were all going for different things, so the Giant did manage to, while taking a lot of damage, did quite cleanly manage to run through and punch the right tower bunch, getting it down to 400 health. And as we're now approaching overtime, that's going to be really dangerous, because if he can stall out and save this right tower until overtime, all he has to do is finish off 400 health to take game 1.
But again, you've got to think about it here. From Jason, he's been committing to, with these elixir collectors, to the kind of later stages of this game anyway. So every single time he's able to make one of these pushes, it's very powerful. That Hog Rider jumps through though, and there's not going to be too much damage actually going onto it. This is still a big push. He's going to take this tower. That's one tower going for Jason against HK Esports Derek.
30 seconds left on the clock and counting. We see a few goblins slipping through, but the tower's going to do a nice job dealing with them by themselves. The archers out really well placed to maximize the damage there. And again, goblins are not going to do too much, but we are getting into dangerous overtime territory. And right now, Jason does have an advantage by 600 health, and the tower is still standing.
And still, he tries to get through there. The Hog Rider goes through, but he gets brought down just at the very last second. So no tower falls, and that is 4 seconds left on the clock. That is going to be a win here in game number 1 for Jason.
Now, I really like the way Jason just secured that at the end. He was like, okay, right, I've got the tower. I'm going to put every single unit I have on the offense right now. So if he tries to counter push, my minions and my units are just going to completely soak up all this damage.
One thing he's getting out of those elixir collectors that early on, you could see it was exactly the same push crafted twice with Giant. What else do we have behind it? Goblins, even the Hog Rider to kind of jump in as well. Overall, the unit composition that he brings in each of those pushes is extremely hard to deal with unless you have maybe arrows and some extra oomph to actually bring down the Giant during all of that. So very difficult to deal with that composition.
I'm just really liking the variety in decks we're seeing right now. A lot, obviously, beforehand we saw the Mortar deck, so very building heavy, very spell heavy, especially in set 1, which was a crazy set to start things off. Again, a lot of spells, a lot of tactical building placement, but this is straight up units for the most part. We are seeing the odd arrows here and there, but for the most part, it's basically just units and hard pushing that's doing most of the damage in this set so far. So Derek is down a game right now. He did mention to us before, like you said at the start, he has a healthy amount of decks prepared for this top 8. So I predict he's made a switch, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Both players sort of being patient right now before they make their first move.
He's got information about his opponent. You're leaving it to 10 elixir. You're going to spend some of that elixir. Pekka is already the choice here for Derek to move down the right-hand side against the elixir collector up at the top.
Now this is an immediate change. We see the use of the Pekka as a first card as well. Okay, this is a change in my deck. I have a Pekka now. We can see Jason retaliating with a Giant in the left to maybe try and not force too much of a push in the right by Derek. Just trying to force him away, because the Giant, wow, manages to cleanly get through.
Look at this. I mean, he's not committing anything to the left because he knows he's going to have to spend something to deal with the Pekka. Balloon coming in as well here. This could be a lot of danger. And the rage going down. Oh, that's a big commitment there to that tower. Is he going to take it? Yes, he does. The balloon gets through. Big damage.
That was incredible. That was seconds. That tower was dust after mere seconds.
At the same time, though, look how much the Giant did on the other side. I mean, it killed the tower as well, so it's 1 for 1. It's a big commitment, throwing down rage on the aggressive, because if you do, then, you know, you could lose things on the defensive, having spent so much into that.
Have you ever heard the phrase, the gentle giant? That's not a gentle giant. Jason's Giant is aggressive, but we can see Derek, almost his entire deck, I think his entire deck is completely different. Every single card is different than what we saw last time.
Yeah, it's cool to see here with Witch implemented in as well. Hog Rider on the left-hand side now, whilst the Pekka is being kind of distracted and freeze to deal with the Hog Rider, since he didn't have anything else to put down.
Wow, and the Hog Rider is just completely dealt with. I think that might be another adjustment, is Derek just using the freeze on the Hog Rider. We saw this used earlier on, but a big push on the right by Jason. Not sure if the Giant's going to go down or if he's going to get some damage off. The skeletons are deployed, but the minions are going to keep the elixir pump busy as well.
Yeah, that was not too bad actually. I mean, he cleaned up with the arrows, but he's probably going to end up losing that tower eventually. That's so much damage actually going onto it. The minion horde was not down with 10 health.
Wow.
10 health remaining on that tower.
What do you do if you're Jason in the situation? Do you leave that tower alive until overtime, or do you just take it out now to get the positioning advantage to be able to spawn things further up?
Set up defensively, try and deal with this rage, and if you can deal with this rage from here on out, you can arrow it. It doesn't matter, but he's frozen some of that. That balloon is on top of that tower. Not much more. He's actually just going to go straight for the big push, and I don't think he can't save that tower.
Oh, that was expensive, but Derek, this is so many units coming in. The big crown tower is taking so much damage, and this might be game 2.
That looks like that is it. And each time there you go, GG. Jason will take game number 2. Each time the rage comes in, you see it goes trade for trade. When you commit to something like that on the aggressive, you don't have enough elixir to deal with the follow-up push, because in this game you have a defender's advantage.
But it all boils down to elixir management as well. I mean, as soon as you commit hard on one lane, the opponent has a choice to make. Do I use my elixir to counter this push, or do I make something work in the other lane that he might not be ready for because he's just spent all of his elixir?
Yeah. It's a very kind of, I want to say, an all-in and aggressive style that we see when it comes to that rage play. Oftentimes you listen to a lot of people and they say, well, actually rage can be used in a very, very strong defensive stance to go kind of troops for troops, but then because you're attacking 40% faster, moving 40% quicker, you're going to get the better trade and then you can push onto the other side in terms of elixir management. But you know, that's by the by. We are going on to game number 3.
Now, it's definitely worth pointing out that this could be the potential for yet another upset in this tournament. As we've said before, Derek is a consistent top leaderboard player in the game's actual live client. And Jason, as he said himself, he just turned up because he loves the game, he just wants to play. And here he is, one game away from taking home, debatably one of the best players in the world at Clash Royale. A 3-0, not even 3-1, 3-2, 3-0 right now, maybe.
We've seen that Hog Rider coming out from Jason already. Gets on towards that cannon, which will hold it off quite nicely. Ice Wizard being deployed by Derek as well. And between them on live, there's like 1,000 trophies difference. 4,000 against 3,100 or so.
And especially when you get to higher levels of trophies, that 1,000 makes a bigger difference than it might appear.
Here, though, on a level playing field with all cards same level, commons 8, rares 6, epics 3, legendaries 1. Not as easy. This is a big push though from Jason once again. That giant tanking up so much. He crafts the units behind it so well to pump out damage. And look how well they've got through here.
Oh my word, already down to 400 health and lowering 160, 118, 72. Wow!
I'm going to be copying this comp when I go home. Oh my god, Jason with this giant goblins, archers and Hog Rider comp. Even the barbarians were in that one actually compared to the Hog Rider.
Now that was incredible because right now this is like Jason's been using the same deck the entire time, and Derek every single game has tried to change and it's just not working. Jason's just too much right now.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to deal with. Hog Rider on the way, Giant thrown down in the middle as well. This is going to be the distraction here for maybe the Hog Rider to do something, because realistically, what do you deal with? Do you deal with the Giant that's going to do some damage, or do you do the Hog Rider here? Likewise, he took so much damage on his towers from that.
It's just the benefit of taking a tower so early. You get the luxury of really being able to play on the back foot if you want to, but then any aggression further that point is going to be so much more dangerous when you know I'm winning right now. Yeah. I am 2 games up and I've taken a tower. I don't have to commit, but you do. You have to do something.
I'm absolutely loving Jason's deck. He hasn't had to switch up, and look at this. I mean, for good reason. Arrows are going to go down. They don't do too much. The Barbarians will kill that Hog Rider. And the Hog Rider on the other side is actually getting a bit more damage done with the giant goblins, goblins as well as barbarians.
This is just incredible play from Jason right now. I mean, really splitting off his just constant loads of units. And Derek's trying to get something going. If he can take a tower.
It's an opportunity, but everything's spread out everywhere. The arrows will take down the minion horde on the left-hand side, but other than that, look at the damage. It's all very separated up, and there's 20 seconds left on the clock, and I don't think he can push down one of these towers.
But even if Derek does manage to, make a miracle happen and take out one of the towers, his tower's down to 250 health, and there's a giant and a Hog Rider.
Gonna get it. That Hog Rider is gonna bring home the win. That's the 3-0 from Jason. He advances onto the semi-finals. Brilliant stuff from Jason.
I don't think that was the result anyone was expecting, so huge props to Jason. Obviously, props to Derek. Making top 8 out of 200 players is no easy feat, especially when you are coming over from overseas, from Hong Kong to Finland. That's not exactly a quick trip, but Jason will advance as your 3rd semi-finalist today.
And you know the funny thing is that we've had Finland versus the world in every single one of these series, and in every single one, Finland's come out on top.
I didn't even realize that. Wow, this Finland have come to play.
I think Suomi is, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's like, it's the chant, man. Finland has done so well so far in these semi-finals.
Look what's happened to our poor stage. Our poor stage is covered in confetti.
There's a lot of confetti. They did give confetti cannons as well as our lovely emotes.
Which I think after that one, this one, right? This is my favorite.
For Finland, yeah, I suppose thumbs up for Finland. They're doing pretty well.
You know what I think we're going to see if we see Mr. Steroidy advance to the grand finals?
Oh, right, okay. For mortars, I suppose, yeah.
We'll see. I mean, now they've secured themselves €1,000.
Yes.
But 3,000 is going to be the difference next time, and then 10,000 to play one. Would you play Mortar for €10,000? I don't think anyone wouldn't for that money.
Yeah. If you want to win, you want to win. All right, we are done up here. We're going to head off to Sean on the stage once again, who is with our winner, Jason, advancing onto the semi-finals.
Thank you so much, Kalaris. Wow. Jason, you just knocked out arguably one of the favorites of the tournament, Derek. First off, a round of applause for Derek, everybody. Jason, he came in as a favorite. There was a lot of riding on this. A lot of people were saying, okay, this is going to be a cakewalk for him. But you now stand victor. You are in the semi-finals. You're guaranteed taking home €1,000. How do you feel?
Amazing. I didn't expect that.
Now, you did it in quite triumphant and authoritative fashion. I mean, what do you think was working for you?
That's the deck I've been playing almost 2,000 games with, so I think it's that.
2,000 games with that deck. Good. You've had some good time to practice. I'm happy about that. Now, there was a lot of talk about the fact that Derek actually has 1,000 points on you in the ranking. Was it that in your mind coming into this?
Yeah, I knew he had way more trophies than I did, but I've seen a lot of good players, high-level players, lose in tournaments, on level 8 tournaments, against a couple thousand trophies lower than they are. So we are all in the same line here. So
all in the same. You came here with 200 hopefuls. Here they all are around you. You're now down in the final 4. That's got to feel pretty good. What are you going to do now to prepare for the upcoming semi-final?
I have no idea. I'm just gonna hope.
Hope is always a good one. Once again, a round of applause for your semi-finalists. It's Jason. Jason, you can go back and set up. Derek, thank you so much. Once again, round of applause for Derek.